Beloved one, you have come here because there is a trembling inside you. It may be a subtle vibration that you hide behind a smile, or it may be a storm that keeps you awake in the darkest hours of the night. You have come because you are tired. You are tired of carrying a weight that seems to grow heavier with every passing year. You are tired of calculating, of protecting, of constantly looking over your shoulder to see what catastrophe is approaching. You call this living, society calls this being responsible, but I tell you, this is not life, this is a slow form of dying. Look at yourself, just for this moment, close your eyes to the world outside and look at the world inside. What do you see? You see a mind that is racing, you see a heart that is guarded, you see a being that has forgotten how to breathe. You believe this fear is you. You say, I am afraid. You say, I am anxious. You treat fear as if it were your blood, your bones, your very soul, but I am here to wake you up from this nightmare. The first thing you must understand, and understand deeply, is this: fear was never yours. You were not born with it. Remember, can you go back in your memory or perhaps in your intuition to the moment of your arrival? When a child comes into this world, he comes as a blank slate of pure potential. He comes crying, yes, but that cry is not of fear. That cry is the celebration of life rushing into the lungs. It is the shock of oxygen, the shock of separation from the womb. But it is not fear. A newborn child has no concept of danger. Put a snake in front of a baby and he will try to catch it. He will think it is a toy. Put a baby near a fire and he will be fascinated by the dance of the flames. He will want to touch it, to become one with it. The child knows only being. He knows only the present moment. And fear cannot exist in the present moment. Have you ever noticed this? Fear is always about the future. It is always about what might happen, what could happen, what if things go wrong. But the child has no future. The child has only now. And in the now, there is no space for fear. There is only space for wonder. So the question arises, if you were born as a fearless energy, as a pure flowing river of life, how did you become this frozen, frightened ice block? You learned it. It was a gift, a poisoned gift given to you by the people who loved you the most. This is the tragedy of human existence. Your parents, your teachers, your priests, they all conspired to make you afraid, and do not be angry with them. They were not evil. They were simply victims of their own upbringing. They gave you what they had. They had fear, so they gave you fear. Think of a small child reaching for that flame. The mother screams, "No!" Her eyes go wide, her voice trembles. In that instant, a shock goes through the child's nervous system. He pulls back. He looks at his mother, the god of his little world, and he sees terror in her face. And in that moment, the child learns two things. First, he learns that the fire is dangerous. That is useful. That is survival. But he learns something else, something far more dangerous. He learns that the world is a hostile place. He learns that to be safe, he must be afraid. He learns that trembling is the proper response to life. And so it begins. Layer upon layer. Don't climb that tree, you will fall. Don't talk to strangers, they will hurt you. Don't laugh too loud. Don't cry too much. Don't make a mistake. Every don't is a brick in the wall of your prison. By the time you are 7 years old, your original face is lost. You have become a civilized human being. And what is a civilized human being? A neurotic, a trembling animal who has forgotten his wildness. If you are listening to this and you feel that wall inside you, if you feel the bricks that were laid by a well-meaning society. I invite you to take a small step toward dismantling it right now. You can signal to your own unconscious mind that you are ready to listen to a new truth. You can do this by simply liking this video. It is a small gesture, but the mind watches your actions. Tell your mind, I am ready to hear the truth. And if you wish to walk this path with us, subscribe to the channel. Let this be a commitment to your own awakening. Now let us go deeper. The fear you feel today is not about the fire or the tree. It has become sophisticated. Now it is about your image. What if I fail? What if they reject me? What if I am left alone? What if I die? You see, society thrives on your insecurity. If you are fearless, you cannot be controlled. A man without fear is the most dangerous person to the establishment. He will not buy your insurance. He will not vote for your wars. He will not bow down to your priests. He will laugh. He will dance. He will do what his own consciousness dictates, not what the law commands. So the state, the church, the economy, they all need you to remain trembling. They need you to feel insufficient. They need you to feel that without them you are nothing. So they teach you competition. From the kindergarten, you are told to be the first, and if you are not the first, you are unworthy. This creates a deep fear of inferiority. You are running a race that you never signed up for, chasing a finish line that moves every time you get close, and you call this ambition. I call it panic. You are running because you are afraid to stop, because if you stop, you will have to face yourself. You will have to face the emptiness that you have been trying to fill with money, with relationships, with power, with fame, and that emptiness scares you more than anything else. But I tell you that emptiness is your door to God. That emptiness is not empty, it is full of the cosmos. But fear stands at the gate and says, do not enter. We must understand the mechanism of the mind. The mind is a survival machine. It was designed to keep you alive in the jungle. If a tiger is coming, the mind says, run, and the body releases adrenaline and you run. That is biological fear. It is natural. It is necessary. If a car is coming at you on the street, you jump. You don't think about it. You don't philosophize. You simply jump. That is not the fear I am talking about. I am talking about psychological fear. The tiger is not there. The car is not there. You are sitting in your comfortable chair in your warm house, perhaps drinking tea, and yet you are trembling. The mind is projecting a movie. It is saying, tomorrow the stock market might crash. Tomorrow my lover might leave me. Tomorrow I might get sick. Tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Fear is the shadow cast by the mind into the future. It requires time to exist. If I ask you to be afraid right now, in this precise split second, without thinking about the next second, can you do it? Try. Try to be afraid in the absolute here and now. You cannot. In the here and now, there is only existence. There is breath. There is a heartbeat. There is silence. To be afraid, you must move away from the now. You must travel into the imagination. So fear is nothing but a misuse of your imagination. You are using your creative power to create a hell for yourself. You are a great creator. You are a magician. But you are a magician who has forgotten how to use his magic. You are conjuring monsters and then running from them. There's a beautiful old story from the East. A man is walking home in the twilight. The sun has set and the light is dim. Suddenly on the path he sees a snake. He freezes. His heart pounds against his ribs like a hammer. He breaks into a cold sweat. He is terrified. He starts to scream for help, or perhaps he looks for a stone to kill the snake. He is in a life and death struggle. Then a wise man comes by with a lantern. He sees the man trembling and asks, "What is the matter?" The man points and says, "Look, a snake. It is waiting to bite me." The wise man does not argue. He does not say there is no snake. He simply lifts the lantern and sheds light on the path, and in that light the man looks again. It is not a snake, it is a rope. Now, tell me, where did the fear go? Did the man have to practice bravery? Did he have to take a course on how to manage snake anxiety? Did he have to pray to God to give him strength? No. The moment he saw it was a rope, the fear vanished instantly. It did not take time, it evaporated because its foundation, the lie, was removed. This is what I want to do for you. I want to bring the lantern. I cannot take away your fear. If I take away your fear, I take away your growth. I can only show you the rope. I can only show you that what you think is a monster is just a shadow of your own mind. But you have become addicted to the snake. This is the hard truth. You love your fear. You cling to it. It gives you an identity. If you have no worries, who are you? You are a nobody. You have nothing to talk about at parties. People love to share their miseries. Oh, I am so stressed. Oh, my life is so difficult. And the other person says, "You think that is bad? Wait until you hear about my life." It is a competition of misery. You cling to the snake because the snake keeps you busy. It keeps you from looking at the vast open sky of your own being. Because the sky is so big, it is frightening to the ego. The ego wants a small defined problem to solve. The ego feels important when it is fighting a battle, even if the battle is imaginary. To wake up, you must be willing to drop the game. You must be willing to see the rope. And how do you see the rope? By stopping, by watching. Most of you are running so fast that you never look at what is chasing you. If you were to stop, turn around and look fear in the eye, you would be surprised. It is empty. It has no substance. It is like a fog. When you are far away, the fog looks like a solid wall. But when you walk into the fog, there is nothing there. It disappears as you approach it. Fear is the same. It thrives on your avoidance. The more you run, the bigger it gets. The more you hide, the more it haunts you. Turn around. Face it. I know it sounds difficult. You have spent 40, 50, maybe 60 years running. The habit is deep. The neural pathways in your brain are like deep riverbeds of anxiety, but the water can change course. Awareness is the power to change the course of the river. It begins with witnessing. When fear arises, do not say, "I am afraid." This is a linguistic mistake that creates a spiritual prison. When you say "I am," you identify with it. You glue yourself to the emotion. Instead say, "Fear is happening." Or even better, "I see a cloud of fear passing through." Create a distance. You are the watcher. The fear is the watched. You are the mirror. The fear is the reflection. Does the mirror tremble when a fire is reflected in it? No. The mirror remains cool. Does the mirror get wet when rain is reflected in it? No. The mirror remains dry. You are the mirror. This is your eternal nature. This is the part of you that was never born and will never die. This is the part of you that society could not touch. They polluted your mind, but they could not pollute your consciousness. It is too deep. It is too vast. Find that spot within you. And it is not far away. It is not on top of the Himalayas. It is right here, in the gap between two thoughts, in the gap between the inhalation and the exhalation. Before we move further into the technique of witnessing, I want to invite those of you who feel a deep calling to support this work. This message needs to reach the corners of the earth where fear is being used as a weapon to enslave humanity. If you wish to be part of this energy field, consider using the join button to become a member of this community. It is a way of saying yes to the light. And for those who have found a specific relief in these words today, who feel a burden lifting, the Super Thanks feature is available to you. It is an exchange of energy, a gratitude that keeps the wheel of Dharma turning. Also, for those who want to read and digest these truths in silence, we have compiled deep insights in our ebooks available for you. Now come back to the center. Let us look at the disguise of fear. Fear rarely comes naked. It wears masks. It wears the mask of control. You try to control everything. You try to control your children, your spouse, your employees, your bank account. You think that if you can just arrange all the pieces of the puzzle perfectly, you will be safe. You are a perfectionist. But I tell you, perfectionism is just fear in a tuxedo. It is fear dressed up to look elegant. You are trying to freeze life, but life cannot be frozen. Life is a flux. It is a river. Heraclitus was right. You cannot step in the same river twice. By the time you step, the water has flowed on. By the time you step, you have changed. Your attempt to control is an attempt to kill life, because only dead things are permanent. A plastic flower is safe. It will not die. It will not wilt. You can wash it. It is predictable, but it has no fragrance. It has no soul. A real rose is dangerous. It will bloom in the morning, and by the evening it may be gone. It is fragile. And because it is fragile, it is beautiful. You have chosen the plastic life because you are afraid of the fragility of the real. You have built a fortress of certainty, but inside the fortress you are suffocating. You are safe, yes, but you are in a coffin. Open the windows, let the wind come in, let the rain come in. Yes, you might catch a cold, but it is better to catch a cold and be alive than to be healthy and dead. Risk is the salt of life. Without risk, there is no growth. Have you ever seen a seed that is afraid to break open? If the seed remains safe inside its shell, it will never become a tree. It will never know the sun. It will never know the birds nesting in its branches. It will remain a hard, closed little rock. The seed must die for the tree to be born. You must die for the real you to be born. And what must die? The ego, the false self, the bundle of fears and conditionings that you call I. This is why you are afraid of love. Have you noticed? You crave love, you write songs about love, you watch movies about love. But when real love knocks on your door, you panic, you run away, or you sabotage it. Why? Because love requires surrender. Love requires you to drop your defenses. Love requires you to be naked, not just physically, but spiritually, to let someone see you as you really are, with all your flaws, all your insecurities. That is terrifying to the ego. The ego wants to maintain the image. I am strong. I am independent. Love melts the ego. Love says you are not separate. And the ego is nothing but the idea of separation. So fear and love cannot exist together, just as light and darkness cannot exist together. If you bring light into a room, the darkness does not fight. It does not say, I refuse to leave. It simply vanishes. It has no existence of its own. It is simply the absence of light. Fear is the absence of love. Fear is the absence of awareness. You do not have to fight fear. Please, never fight with your mind. If you fight, you give it energy. If you say, I will not be afraid, you are repeating the word fear constantly. You are hypnotized by it. Instead, shift your focus. Do not focus on the darkness. Focus on bringing in the light. And what is the light? Understanding. Understand that life is insecure. This is the nature of existence. There is no insurance company that can insure you against life. Anything can happen at any moment. The next breath may not come in. The earth may shake. The sun may explode. This is the reality. Now you have two choices. You can tremble in the face of this insecurity, or you can celebrate it. The religious man, the truly religious man, not the one who goes to the church or the temple, but the one who has connected with the source, celebrates the insecurity. He says, wow, life is a mystery. I do not know what will happen next. That means anything is possible. If everything were certain, life would be a boredom. It would be a script that has already been written. You would be a robot. But because nothing is certain, you are free. You can create. You can dance. Uncertainty is freedom. But you have been taught that uncertainty is danger. This is the wrong conditioning. Look at the birds. Jesus says, look at the lilies of the field. They do not toil, they do not spin, they do not have bank accounts, they do not worry about retirement. And yet Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Why are they so beautiful? Why are they so alive? Because they trust. Trust is the antidote to fear, not belief. Belief is of the head, trust is of the heart. Belief is borrowing someone else's truth. The Bible says so, so I believe. Osho says so, so I believe. That is cheap. That will not save you when the storm comes. Trust is your own experience. It is the deep knowing that you are part of this whole, that you are not an alien here. The trees are your brothers, the stars are your ancestors, the ocean flows in your veins. When you feel this connection, fear becomes impossible. How can the wave be afraid of the ocean? The wave is the ocean. Even when the wave dies, where does it go? It goes back into the ocean. It does not lose anything. It only loses its form, its name, but the substance remains. You are the substance. You are the consciousness. Forms come and go. Bodies come and go. Childhood, youth, old age, these are just changing seasons. But the witness remains. When you start to live from this center of witnessing, a strange thing happens. The energy that was trapped in fear is released, and it transforms. Energy is neutral. It is the same electricity that can run an electric chair to kill a man, or run a medical machine to save a man. The electricity has no moral judgment. It simply flows. Fear is high energy. Have you noticed? When you are afraid, you are very alert. You are not sleepy. If I put a knife to your throat, you will not fall asleep. You will be totally present. The mind stops. The past disappears. The future disappears. There is only the knife. This intensity of energy, when it is freed from the negative interpretation of the mind, becomes adventure. It becomes creativity. It becomes joy. The trembling of fear becomes the trembling of a dance. So the first step is acceptance. Do not judge yourself for being afraid. Do not say, I am a coward. No. You are a victim of a sick society. Have compassion for yourself. Say, okay, fear is here. It is an old friend. It has come to visit. Sit with it. Have tea with it. Watch it. Where do you feel it in the body? Is it in the stomach? Is it in the chest? Is it in the throat? Don't think about the cause of the fear. The cause is usually irrelevant. The cause is just an excuse the mind has invented. Focus on the feeling, the pure sensation of energy. If you can stay with the sensation without labeling it bad, without trying to get rid of it, you will see a miracle. You will see the edges of the fear start to soften. It will start to expand. It will lose its density. And suddenly you will find a hidden reservoir of strength underneath it. This is the alchemy of awareness, turning base metal into gold. You do not need to go to a cave in the mountains. You do not need to stand on your head. You can do this in the marketplace. You can do this in your office. When the boss yells at you and the stomach tightens, watch it. Take a deep breath. Smile internally. Say, the old reaction. And in that watching, you are free. The boss is there, the yelling is there, but you are not touched. You are the lotus flower in the water. The water touches it, but the petals remain dry. This is the path of the spiritual warrior, not to conquer the world, but to conquer the unconsciousness within. There is so much more to say about this. We have only scratched the surface of the mask. We need to go deeper into how fear hides in your relationships, how it hides in your ambition, and how to finally dissolve the root of the illusion. And the root of that illusion is the idea that you are separate. This is the fundamental misunderstanding that has plagued humanity for centuries. You have been told that you are an island, distinct from the continent of existence. You have been given a name, a social security number, a nationality, and a religion, and you have been told this is who you are. You have been drawn into a tiny circle and told to defend it. And because the circle is so small and the universe is so big, naturally you are terrified. How can a tiny drop of water fight against the whole ocean? It cannot. The fight is destined to be a failure. And deep down, you know this. You know that no matter how much wealth you accumulate, no matter how high your walls are, death will come, change will come. The ocean will eventually claim the drop. Because you are fighting a losing battle, you live in chronic anxiety. But what if the drop stopped fighting? What if the drop realized, I am not separate from the ocean, I am the ocean? In that realization, fear disappears instantly. Because if I am the ocean, what can hurt me? Can the ocean drown itself? Can the fire burn itself? When you are the whole, there is no other to be afraid of. Fear always needs an other. It implies duality. You are here and the danger is there. But in the state of deep awareness, the other dissolves. You see yourself in the tree, in the rock, in the tiger, even in the enemy. You see that life is one energy playing a game of hide and seek with itself. You ask me, Osho, how can I live this oneness in a world that is so divided? You start by looking at your relationships. This is where your fear is most visible and also where it is most destructive. Look at how you love. Is it love or is it a mutual protection pact? Most people come together not out of overflowing joy, but out of overflowing fear. You are afraid to be alone. The silence of your own room terrifies you. The ghosts of your mind start whispering the moment you are unoccupied. So you run to a lover, you run to a crowd, you run to a club. You use the other person as a tranquilizer. You hold on to them so tight that you strangle them, and they are holding on to you for the same reason. Two beggars holding on to each other, hoping to become emperors. It will not happen. Two fears added together do not make courage, they make panic doubled. This is why there is so much conflict in your relationships. You are demanding that the other person make you feel safe. You are saying, promise me you will never change. Promise me you will love me tomorrow. What a foolish demand. How can anyone promise what they will feel tomorrow? Life is a flux. To ask for a promise is to ask for a lie. And when they cannot keep that promise, you feel betrayed. You feel the ground shaking beneath your feet. Real love is not afraid of aloneness. In fact, real love is born out of aloneness. Only a person who is perfectly happy being alone can truly love, because he does not need you. He does not want to extract anything from you. He is full, his cup is overflowing, and when he comes to you, it is not to beg, but to share. I have so much joy, I want to pour it into you. When two such independent, fearless beings meet, that is a holy relationship. There is no bondage. There is no jealousy. Why would there be jealousy? Jealousy is just the fear that someone will take my possession. But a person of awareness knows that no one can possess a human being. You cannot possess the wind. You cannot possess the sunlight. If you try to close your fist around the wind, you lose it. If you keep your hand open, the wind dances on your palm. Let your hand be open. This is the secret of living without fear. Clinging is the cause of all suffering. You cling to your money and you suffer. You cling to your youth and you suffer when the first wrinkle appears. You cling to your life and you suffer when death knocks. Let go. I am not saying to throw away your money or leave your family. No. I am talking about the inner gesture of unclutching. Live in the house, but do not let the house live in you. Use the money, but do not let the money use you. Love your partner, but do not create a chain out of that love. If you can master this art of acting without clinging, you become weightless. You walk through the world, but you leave no footprints. And if these words are resonating with a truth you have always known but forgotten, if you feel a lightness entering your chest as you listen, I invite you to share this video with someone you love. Perhaps they are suffering in a toxic relationship born of fear. Perhaps they need to hear that they can let go. Be a messenger of this lightness. Now we must confront the ultimate shadow, the fear that stands behind all other fears, the fear of death. You may say, I am not afraid of death, I am just afraid of public speaking, or I am afraid of losing my job. Dig deeper. Why are you afraid of losing your job? Because then you will have no money, then you will have no food, then you will die. Every fear, if you trace it to its root, leads to the grave. Society hides death. We put it in hospitals, we put it in nice coffins with silk lining, we put makeup on the dead faces to make them look like they are sleeping. We try to pretend it doesn't exist, but this pretense creates a deep neurosis, because death is the only certainty in life. It is the only thing that is absolutely guaranteed from the moment you take your first breath. Why are you so afraid of it? Because you think death is the end. You think the curtain falls and the show is over. You identify with the body, so you think when the body rots, I rot. This is the mistake. You are inside the body, but you are not the body. You are the driver in the car. When the car breaks down, the driver does not die. He simply steps out. Perhaps he gets a new car. Perhaps he decides to walk. I want you to change your perspective on death. Do not see it as the enemy. See it as the climax of life. It is the crescendo. It is the moment when the drop finally returns to the ocean. It is a great rest after a long journey. If you can accept death, if you can even welcome it as a natural part of existence, then fear loses its power over you immediately. What can the world threaten you with? The worst they can do is kill you. And if you have accepted death, that is no threat at all. Socrates was condemned to die. He was given poison, hemlock. His disciples were crying, weeping, rolling on the floor. But Socrates was lying there, excited. He was rubbing his legs where the chains had been removed and saying, "It feels so good to have the chains off. Pleasure and pain are brothers. When one goes, the other comes." He took the poison cup as if it were a toast. He asked the executioner, "What must I do?" The man said, Just drink it and walk around until your legs feel heavy, then lie down. Socrates drank it and started walking. He was talking to his disciples, saying, "Look, my legs are getting heavy. The sensation is gone from my feet, but I am still here. My awareness is as bright as ever." Then he lay down. He said, "My legs are dead. My hands are going numb, but I am still here." Until the very last moment, he was witnessing, he was watching his own death. He died, but he did not die. He simply moved from the visible to the invisible. This is the dignity of a human being. To face the unknown with curiosity, not with trembling. You can practice this. You do not have to wait for the hemlock. Every night when you go to sleep, it is a small death. You disappear. The world disappears. Your name, your fame, your bank account, everything is gone. And yet, are you afraid to go to sleep? No, you look forward to it. You say, "I am so tired, I need to rest." Why is sleep refreshing? Because in sleep you inadvertently drop the ego. You drop the doer. You return to the source. Death is just a longer sleep. If you can live with this understanding, you become fearless. And a fearless man is a joyous man. He can laugh at the absurdity of life. He can play. And this playfulness is what I call the Leela. Life is not a school. It is not a penitentiary. It is a play. God is playing 1,000 roles. In one role, he is the beggar. In another, he is the king. In one, he is the thief. In another, he is the saint. But behind all the masks, it is the same actor. When you realize you are the actor and not the role, you stop taking things so seriously. If you are playing Hamlet on stage, you have to cry, you have to scream, you have to suffer. But deep down, you know, I am not Hamlet. I will go home after the curtain falls and have a good dinner. You can have tears in your eyes, but underneath you can be smiling. This is the paradox of the awakened man. He is involved, yet he is detached. He cares, yet he does not worry. To reach this state, you must train your mind to stop projecting. The mind is a time machine. It travels to the past, regret, guilt, nostalgia, or it travels to the future, worry, planning, anxiety. It never stays in the station. It never stays here. Watch your mind for the next hour. Just observe. How many times does it leave the present moment? You are washing the dishes, but your mind is arguing with your boss. You are driving the car, but your mind is already at the destination. You are never where your body is. This separation between body and mind is the crack where fear enters. Bring them together. When you are washing the dishes, just wash the dishes. Feel the warmth of the water on your hands. Smell the soap. Hear the sound of the plates clinking. Be totally there. If you are totally there, there is no room for the what if. There is just the sensation of what is. This is meditation. Meditation is not just sitting with your eyes closed, chanting Om. That is a good start, but real meditation is a lifestyle. It is the quality of being present in everything you do. Walking is meditation. Eating is meditation. Listening to this video is meditation. Are you listening? Or are you already thinking about what you will do next? Come back. Come back to the sound of this voice. Come back to the silence underneath the words. In this silence, there is sanity. In the noise of the mind, there is madness. And the world has gone mad because it has lost the connection to this silence. If you wish to deepen your connection to this silence, to support the spreading of this sanity in an insane world, consider joining our channel community. The join button is a gateway to a deeper commitment to your own growth. And for those who have felt a shift in their consciousness today, the super thanks is a beautiful way to acknowledge that energy exchange. We also have a library of ebooks where these teachings are distilled for your daily contemplation. Now let us look at the mechanism of the story. You tell yourself stories about who you are. I am a nervous person. I have always been shy. I am not good enough. Who told you this story? Maybe a teacher 20 years ago, maybe a parent, and you have repeated it so many times that it has become a mantra. You have hypnotized yourself. You need to de-hypnotize yourself. Next time you feel the fear arising, instead of telling the story, ask a question. Ask, who is the one perceiving this fear? Do not answer it intellectually. Just throw the question into your being like a pebble into a silent lake. Who is aware of this trembling? Instantly you will feel a shift back. You will move from the trembling to the witnessing. You will realize the body is trembling, the mind is racing, but the one watching is perfectly still. This one is your refuge. This is the kingdom of God that Jesus spoke about. It is within you, but you are looking for it outside. You are looking for security in the bank, in the government, in the marriage. You are looking for water in the desert. Turn inward. The spring is there. It has been covered by the debris of your thoughts, by the garbage of society's conditioning. You have to shovel it away, and the shovel is awareness. It is work. I will not lie to you and say it is instant. It takes courage to face the garbage. It takes courage to look at your own ugliness, your own greed, your own violence. But if you clean the spring, the water that flows is eternal life. And when you act from that spring, your actions have a different quality. They are not reactions. Most of your life is reaction. Someone pushes a button and you get angry. Someone pushes another button and you get sad. You are a machine. You have no master inside. The world is the master. I want you to become the master, and the master acts. He does not react. If someone insults a master, he does not get angry mechanically. He looks at the person. He sees the pain in the person. He sees that the insult is coming from the person's own suffering, and he might laugh, he might show compassion, or he might shout, but the shout will be a conscious act designed to wake the other person up, not an uncontrolled explosion of anger. When you are free of fear, you are free of the need to defend yourself. And when you don't defend, you become defenseless. And in that defenselessness, you are invincible. This sounds like a paradox, I know. How can defenselessness make you invincible? Because if you have no walls, nothing can be breached. If you are empty space, the arrow passes through you without hurting you. You cannot wound the sky. Be like the sky. Clouds come, black clouds, thunder clouds, fear clouds. Let them come. Watch them. Do not say, go away. Do not say, I hate this. Just say, clouds, and watch them go. They will go. It is the law of nature, impermanence, anicca. Nothing stays the same. This fear that feels so solid right now, it will be gone in an hour or a day or a year. Why worry about something that is already on its way out? Focus on what stays. Focus on the sky. As we move into the final part of our journey together, we are going to explore how to take this understanding into the marketplace, how to be a Buddha in the office, how to handle the fears of money, survival, and the judgment of others while remaining in this sky-like nature. Because spirituality that cannot survive the marketplace is not real spirituality. It is just an escape. I do not teach escape. I teach transcendence. To be transcendent does not mean to leave the world. It does not mean you have to renounce your job, your family, or your responsibilities. It means you change the quality of your presence within them. You move from the periphery to the center. Consider the lotus flower. It grows in the mud. The water is dirty, the soil is filthy, and yet the flower floats above it, immaculate. It does not fly away to the sky. It stays rooted in the mud, but it transforms the mud into fragrance. You are to be that lotus. The marketplace is the mud. The noise, the greed, the competition, the fear, that is the mud. Do not hate it. Without the mud, there is no lotus. Use it. Use the friction of daily life to polish your awareness. Let us speak of the fear of money, the fear of survival. This is perhaps the most common chain that binds humanity. You wake up thinking of dollars, you go to sleep thinking of dollars. You think that if you have enough money, you will be safe. But look at the rich people. Are they safe? They are more afraid than the poor. The poor man only worries about getting food for today. The rich man worries about the stock market, the taxman, the thieves, the political situation, the inheritance. His fear has become complex, magnified. Money cannot buy you freedom from fear. It can only buy you a more comfortable prison. The fear of poverty is not really about hunger. In today's world, it is rare to die of hunger. The fear is about status. It is about what people will think of you. If I lose my money, I will be a nobody. You see, it always comes back to the ego. You want to be a somebody. And because you want to be a somebody, you are afraid of everyone, because everyone is a potential threat to your somebodyness. Drop this ambition. I am not saying do not work. Work, create, earn, but do it playfully. Do it as a game. If you win, good. If you lose, good. The game was fun. When you take the seriousness out of your work, the fear evaporates. And a strange thing happens. When you work without fear, you become more efficient. Your intelligence is not clouded by anxiety. You see opportunities that the fearful mind misses. You become creative. Success follows the fearless man like a shadow, but he does not care about it. That is his secret. Now look at the fear of judgment. What will the neighbors say? What will my mother say? What will society say? You have sold your soul for the good opinion of others. And who are these others? They are people who are just as afraid as you are. They are living in their own hell, and you are worried about their opinion of you. It is like two blind men worrying about how they look to each other. It is utter foolishness. The crowd hates the individual. The crowd hates the person who stands on his own 2 feet and says, "This is my truth." Why? Because the individual reminds the crowd of their own slavery. When they see a man who is free, who laughs without reason, who dances without shame, they feel insulted. They feel their own chains, so they will condemn you. They will call you crazy. They will call you immoral. Let them. Their condemnation is your certificate of freedom. If the crowd accepts you, be worried. It means you have compromised. It means you have become a sheep. But if the crowd is throwing stones at you, rejoice. It means you have become a lion. Do not ask for permission to live your life. Life has already given you permission by breathing into you. Existence has accepted you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You don't need the stamp of approval from the Rotary Club or the church. You are approved by the sun, by the moon, by the trees. That is enough. But to stand alone requires guts. It requires a fire in the belly. You have to risk being wrong. You have to risk being ridiculed. This is what I call living dangerously. Nietzsche said, "Build your cities on the slopes of Vesuvius. Live on the edge of the volcano." Why? Because when death is near, life becomes intense. When you are walking on a tightrope, you cannot think about your bank account. You cannot think about your past. You have to be totally balanced, totally here. I'm not saying go and jump off a building. I am saying take risks in your psychology. Say the thing you are afraid to say. Do the thing you are afraid to do. Break the routine. Routine is a grave. You do the same thing every day at the same time in the same way. You are a robot, and robots do not feel fear, but they do not feel joy either. Break the pattern. Go home by a different street. Talk to a stranger. Sing in the shower. Do something, anything that shakes up the dust of your habits. When you break the routine, fear will arise. Oh, what is happening? I am not in control. Good. Welcome that fear. That fear is the sound of your cage breaking open. It is the sound of fresh air rushing into a stale room. If you are finding the courage in these words to shake the bars of your own cage, if you feel a yes rising in your throat, express it. Click the like button. It is a digital shout of agreement. And if you want to walk this path of dangerous living with us, subscribe. We are a caravan of rebels, and we welcome you. Let us go deeper into the anatomy of repression. You have been taught to be brave. And what does society mean by brave? It means you suppress your fear. You put on a mask of steel. Inside you are shaking, but outside you are smiling. This is not bravery, this is hypocrisy, and this repression is dangerous. Whatever you repress goes into your basement, it goes into the unconscious, and there it grows, it becomes a monster. If you repress fear, it will come out as anger. Have you noticed? Fearful people are often very aggressive. They attack before they can be attacked. Their aggression is just a shield for their trembling, or it comes out as sickness. Your body cannot handle the constant tension of holding down the fear. Ulcers, heart attacks, cancer, these are often the result of a lifetime of repressed emotion. The energy has to go somewhere. If you don't let it flow, it will destroy the container. I say to you, do not be brave, be authentic. If you are afraid, admit it. Say, I am shaking. There is a tremendous dignity in truth. When you admit your fear, you relax. You are no longer fighting to hide it. And in that relaxation, the fear loses its grip. I remember a story. A great general was sitting on his horse, waiting for the battle to begin. His legs were shaking uncontrollably. His assistant looked at him and said, "General, you are shaking. Are you afraid?" The general looked at his legs and smiled. He said, "Yes, I am afraid. And if these legs knew where I was about to take them, they would be shaking even more." This is real courage. He is not hiding the fear. He is acknowledging the biology. The body is afraid of death. That is natural, but he is not the legs. He is the awareness that is going to take the legs into the battle. He is the master. Be the master. Let the body shake, let the heart pound, but you, the consciousness, remain clear. Yes, the body is preparing for flight or fight. Thank you, body, for being so alert. Do not create a conflict between you and your biology. Befriend your body. Your body is innocent. It is just trying to protect you. Talk to it. It is okay. We are just going to give a speech. We are not going to be eaten by a lion. Relax. You will be surprised how much the body listens if you talk to it with love. Usually you talk to your body with hate. You say, "Stop shaking, you stupid coward." And the body shakes more because now it is afraid of the enemy and it is afraid of you. Love brings unity. Fear brings division. Bring love to your fear. This sounds strange. How can you love fear? You can. You can look at it as a crying child. Your fear is just your inner child feeling abandoned. It needs a hug, not a slap. Close your eyes and visualize your fear. Give it a form. Maybe it looks like a dark cloud, or a small animal, or a weeping child. Now, in your imagination, embrace it. Take it into your heart. Say to it, I am here, I will not leave you. Watch what happens. The moment you embrace the fear, it melts. It transforms into energy. It becomes vitality. This is the secret of Tantra. Do not throw away the negative. Transform it. The poison is also the medicine. You just have to know how to process it. And this processing requires a certain education of the inner being. It is not taught in schools. Schools teach you geography and history, but they do not teach you the geography of your own soul. They do not teach you the history of your own madness. You have to take responsibility for your own self-knowledge. Our ebooks are designed to be your textbooks for this inner university. If you are serious about understanding the alchemy of emotion, I encourage you to explore them. And for those who feel deep gratitude for this guidance, who feel that they are receiving something of value that cannot be measured in money, the super thanks button is there. It is a way to complete the circle of giving and receiving. Now let me tell you about the 3 steps of dissolving fear. Step 1. Identification. Catch yourself when the fear starts. The moment the stomach turns, the moment the thought says, what if? Catch it. Aha! The visitor has arrived. Do not let it slip by unnoticed. Unnoticed fear controls you. Noticed fear is already half defeated. Step 2. Observation without judgment. This is the hardest part. You will want to say, this is bad. I shouldn't feel this. Stop that voice. Just watch. Here's the sensation of tightness. Here's the sensation of heat. Watch it like a scientist watching a chemical reaction in a test tube. The scientist doesn't hate the chemicals. He just observes. Be a scientist of your own interiority. Step 3. Acceptance and allowing. Breathe into it. Give it space. Say, you are allowed to be here. Do not try to push it out the door. If you push, it pushes back. If you open the door and say, come in, sit down, it becomes confused. It loses its aggression. If you practice these 3 steps, identify, observe, allow, you will find that fear becomes just a wave. It rises, it crests, and it crashes. And you are the beach. The wave cannot hurt the beach. It only washes it clean. You see, most of your problems are because you are too rigid. You are like a rock in the stream. The water hits the rock, and there is a struggle, there is noise, there is conflict. Be like the water, not the rock. Flow. If an obstacle comes, go around it, do not fight it. Lao Tzu calls this Wu Wei, action without action, effortless effort. When you are fearful, you are full of effort. You are trying so hard to be safe. Stop trying. Let life carry you. Have you ever tried to float in a river? If you struggle, if you flail your arms, you sink. You get tired, you swallow water, and you panic. But if you just lean back, spread your arms, and trust the water holds you. It has always been ready to hold you. You were just too busy fighting it to notice. Existence is holding you right now. Gravity is holding you. The air is entering your lungs without your effort. The sun is warming you. The whole universe is supporting your life. Why do you not trust it? Why do you think you have to do everything yourself? If I don't worry, the world will collapse. No, it won't. The world was here before you, and it will be here after you. Relax your grip on the steering wheel. There is a joke I love. A man falls off a cliff. On the way down, he manages to grab a branch of a tree growing out of the side of the cliff. He is hanging there, hundreds of feet above the jagged rocks. He looks up and screams, "Is there anyone up there?" A deep voice booms from the sky. "Yes, I am here. I am God." The man says, "Thank God. Please help me. What should I do?" God says, "Let go of the branch." The man looks down at the rocks. He looks up at the sky. He thinks for a moment. Then he screams, "Is there anyone else up there?" This is your situation. You are asking for help. You are asking for freedom, and life says, "Let go." And you say, "No, no, not that. Give me a technique to hold on better. Give me a mantra to make my grip stronger. I am not here to strengthen your grip. I am here to tickle your fingers until you let go. And when you let go, you do not fall to your death. You fall into your life. You fall into the current of the divine. But the mind is cunning. It will say, "Okay, Osho, I will let go tomorrow. First, let me organize my affairs. First, let me insure the house." Postponement is the trick of fear. I will be happy when, I will be peaceful when the kids are grown, when the mortgage is paid, when I retire. That when never comes. It is a horizon. As you move toward it, it moves away. Freedom is now or never. You can let go of the branch right now, sitting in your chair. It is an inner letting go, a deep exhalation, a surrender. Thy will be done, not my will, because my will is born of fear. Thy will, the will of the whole, is born of love. When you align your small will with the great will of the universe, you become powerful. Not powerful like a dictator, but powerful like a thunderstorm, powerful like the ocean tide. You have the momentum of the stars behind you. This is the state of the Zorba, the Buddha. This is my vision for you. Zorba is the man of the earth. He enjoys food, he enjoys wine, he enjoys dance, he enjoys love. He is not afraid of the material world. He lives in it fully. Buddha is the man of the sky. He sits in silence. He witnesses. He is pure consciousness. In the past you had to choose. If you wanted to be a Buddha, you had to run away from the world, starve yourself, and live in a monastery. If you wanted to be a Zorba, you had to forget about your soul and just get drunk. I say, choose both. Be a Zorba and a Buddha. Let your feet be firmly on the ground, rooting into the earth, enjoying the pleasures of the body. And let your head be high in the stars, witnessing, silent, alone. When you bring these two together, fear has no place to hide. The Zorba in you is too busy dancing to be afraid. The Buddha in you is too vast to be afraid. The fearful person is the one who is half alive. He is not fully material, so he doesn't enjoy the world. And he is not fully spiritual, so he doesn't know himself. He is stuck in the middle, in limbo. Get out of limbo. Jump into the market or jump into meditation, but jump totally. If you jump totally into the market, you will see the futility of it, and that will lead you to meditation. If you jump totally into meditation, you will see the beauty of existence, and that will lead you back to the market to share your joy. The circle is complete, but do not stand on the bank, shivering. The water is cold only when you dip your toe in. When you dive in, the water is warm. It is your own blood. As we approach the end of this segment, I want you to feel the potential of your own courage. It is sleeping inside you like a dragon. You have been feeding it sleeping pills, the pills of security, conformity, respectability. Stop feeding it poison. Wake it up. How to wake it up? By doing one small thing today that scares you. Just one. Make a phone call you have been avoiding. Apologize to someone. Wear a shirt that is too colorful. Laugh loudly in a public place. Start small, but start. Momentum is the key. Once you start moving against the grain of your fear, you gain power. You realize, I did it and I didn't die. In fact, I feel more alive. Then you take a bigger step and a bigger one until one day you look back and you cannot find the person who used to be afraid. That person has evaporated. You are a new birth. And this new birth needs nourishment. It needs an environment of truth. That is why we are here. That is why this channel exists, to be a watering hole for the lions. If you are a lion or if you are a sheep ready to become a lion, this is your home. Click join to sit closer to the fire. Click super thanks to throw a log on the fire so it burns brighter for others. We have one final journey to take together in this series. We have looked at the roots of fear, the masks of fear, and the practice of witnessing in the world. Now, in the final part, we will move into the ultimate dissolution, the state of no mind, the state of nirvana, where the question of fear simply dissolves because the questioner dissolves. We will speak of the silence that is not the absence of noise, but the presence of God. And this silence is not empty. It is not the silence of a graveyard. It is the silence of a garden just before the dawn. It is pregnant. It is vibrating with potential. It is the womb of all creation. To enter this silence, we must confront the gatekeeper, and the gatekeeper is your own mind. The mind is a chatterbox. Have you noticed? It never shuts up. It is constantly broadcasting news, rumors, gossip, complaints, and fantasies. It is a radio station that you cannot turn off. And the fuel for this radio station is fear. Why does the mind talk so much? Because if it stops talking, even for a moment, a gap is created. And in that gap, you might disappear. The mind is terrified of its own death. It knows that if you become truly silent, the mind is no longer needed. The master has returned, so the servant can be dismissed. The mind wants to remain the master, so it keeps you busy. It creates problems where there are none. If you are sitting peacefully, the mind will say, but what about your knee? It is hurting a little bit. Maybe it is arthritis. Maybe you need surgery. And suddenly the peace is gone and you are worrying about hospitals. The mind has succeeded. It has pulled you back into its domain. You have to be smarter than the mind. You have to learn the art of ignoring. When you walk down the street, many dogs may bark. Do you stop and argue with every dog? Do you try to convince the dogs to be quiet? No, you simply keep walking. The dogs bark, you walk. Eventually the dogs stop because you are out of range. Treat your thoughts like barking dogs. Let them bark. Market crash, woof, woof. Old age, woof, woof. Nobody loves you, woof, woof. Do not fight them. Do not shout at them. Just keep walking. Keep your attention anchored in your center, in your belly, in your breath. Distance is the key. The moment you are indifferent to the mind loses its power. It needs your attention to survive. Attention is its food. If you withdraw your attention, the mind starts to starve. It becomes thinner and thinner. And one day, a quantum leap happens. The radio stops. And in that sudden silence, you are overwhelmed by a presence that is not you, yet it is you. It is the universal consciousness. It is God. But do not use the word God if it reminds you of an old man in the sky with a beard. That is a childish idea. God is not a person. God is a quality. God is the quality of absolute presence. In this presence, fear is simply impossible. It is like bringing a candle into a room of darkness. You don't have to push the darkness out. You don't have to fight the darkness with a sword. You just bring the light and the darkness is not found. Now let us explore a specific dimension of fear that haunts almost everyone. The fear of loneliness. You run from loneliness like it is a disease. You fill your life with people, with noise, with television, with social media. You are constantly checking your phone. Why? Because you are terrified that if you are alone, you are nothing. But you are confusing two words, loneliness and aloneness. They look similar, but they are opposites. Loneliness is a negative state. It is the feeling that I am missing someone. It is the feeling of a gap, a hole. You are empty and you are waiting for someone else to come and fill you. You are a beggar. Aloneness is a positive state. It is the feeling that I am complete. It is the feeling of overflowing. You are so full of yourself, not in an egoistic way, but in a spiritual way, that you don't need anyone to complete you. You are enough. You are a sovereign unto yourself. The fearful person is lonely. The meditative person is alone. I want you to transform your loneliness into aloneness, and the only way to do that is to stop running. When the feeling of loneliness comes, when you feel that ache in your heart on a Friday night, when no one calls, do not turn on the TV. Do not call a friend. Stop. Sit with that ache. Go into it. It will feel like fire. It will burn. But let it burn. It is burning away your dependency. It is burning away the false idea that you are a half. If you can stay in that fire for 1 hour without moving, without escaping, suddenly the quality changes, the pain disappears, and a tremendous joy arises. You realize, I am here, the whole universe is here. Why was I begging for attention? In that moment you become a king, and a king is never afraid. A beggar is always afraid that the begging bowl will remain empty. The king knows his treasury is infinite. This shift from beggar to king is the essence of my teaching, and it is not a theory, it is an existential jump. You can take this jump, but you need support. The mind is slippery. It will convince you to go back to begging. That is why a sangha, a community of fellow travelers, is helpful. Not to lean on them, but to be reminded by them. When you see someone else walking like a king, you remember your own kingship. If you value this reminder, if you want to keep this fire burning, use the resources we have created. The join button is not just a subscription, it is a declaration that you belong to the tribe of the lions. The super thanks is an act of overflow, sharing your abundance. And our ebooks are the maps for the territory of aloneness. Let us look at another face of fear, the fear of missing out. The modern man is in a constant state of anxiety because he thinks life is happening somewhere else. You are at a party, but you are checking your phone to see if there is a better party. You are in a relationship, but you are looking around to see if there is a better partner. You are never here. This is the misery of the modern mind. You are a ghost, you are haunting the world, but you never land. And because you are never here, you miss everything. You think you are afraid of missing out, but the irony is that by fearing it, you are missing it. You are missing the sunset right in front of your eyes because you are looking at a picture of a sunset on your screen. You are missing the taste of your food because you are photographing it. Life is not elsewhere. Life is always here. Here is the only time, and now is the only place. Drop the idea that there is something better waiting around the corner. This moment is the best moment. Why? because it is the only moment. If you can settle into this moment, really settle, like a stone settling at the bottom of a lake, the fear evaporates. Fear needs the next moment to exist. It needs the better future to compare with the bad present. When you accept the present totally, fear has no foothold. Even if the present is painful, if you accept it, the suffering disappears. Pain is physical, suffering is psychological. Pain is simple, suffering is complex. Pain is, my leg hurts. Suffering is, why me? Why does my leg always hurt? What if it never stops? I am so unlucky. Drop the commentary, stay with the sensation. The sensation is real, the story is a lie. The fearless man lives without stories. He lives in the raw, naked reality, and reality is beautiful. Even the pain has a purity to it. Even death has a dignity to it. Only the lies are ugly. You have lived in lies for so long that the truth feels blinding, like a man who has lived in a cave for years. When he steps out into the sun, his eyes hurt. He wants to run back to the cave. Do not run back. The pain in your eyes is temporary. The adjustment will happen. I am here to hold your hand while your eyes adjust to the light. I am here to tell you, do not be afraid of the light. It is your own nature. You are light. You are not the body made of dust. You are not the mind made of words. You are the light that illuminates both. Remember the metaphor of the movie projector. The screen is white. The film passes in front of the light. On the screen you see tragedy, comedy, fire, flood, death. You cry, you laugh, but look back at the projector. The light is pure white. It is untouched by the movie. The fire on the screen cannot burn the light. The flood on the screen cannot drown the light. You are the light. The world is the movie. Enjoy the movie. It is a great drama. But do not forget, you are the light. If you forget, you get lost in the drama. You start screaming when the actor dies. That is madness. Wake up to the projector. This waking up is what we call witnessing or sakshin. It is the only sword that cuts the root of fear. Now, I want to speak about the fear of making mistakes. This paralyzes so many of you. You want to be perfect. You want to guarantee that if you do X, Y will happen. Life gives no guarantees. Life is a gamble. And I say to you, make mistakes. Make as many mistakes as you can. But do not make the same mistake twice. That is stupidity. Make new mistakes every day. That is intelligence. If you are afraid of making mistakes, you will never move. You will become stagnant. A stagnant pool of water becomes poisonous. A flowing river remains fresh. The river makes many mistakes. It hits a rock here, it takes a wrong turn there, but it keeps moving and eventually it finds the ocean. Be a river. Do not try to be a canal. A canal is man-made. It is straight, predictable, and boring. A river is wild, crooked, and alive. Be wild. Your society wants you to be a canal. Your parents want you to be a canal. Get a degree, get a job, get married, have 2 children, retire, die. A straight line, safe, boring. I want you to be a river, meander, explore, go into the unknown. Yes, you might get lost, but getting lost is the only way to find yourself. If you never get lost, you are not truly alive. You are just following a map drawn by someone else. Throw away the map. Trust your own inner compass. That compass is your intuition. You have it, but you have stopped listening to it because the noise of fear is too loud. As you practice witnessing, the noise will go down and the whisper of intuition will be heard. It will say, go this way. It might not be logical, it might not be profitable, but it will feel right. It will have a resonance. Follow that resonance. That is the voice of existence guiding you. And when you follow that voice, even if you fail in the eyes of the world, you will feel a deep success inside. You will feel, I lived my life. I did not live a photocopy of someone else's life. Authenticity is the only success that matters. And authenticity requires fearlessness. You cannot be authentic and afraid at the same time. Fear will make you wear a mask. Courage will make you take it off. Take off the mask. It might be scary at first. You might feel naked, but soon you will feel the breeze on your face, the sun on your skin, and you will wonder, why did I wear that heavy iron mask for so long? You wore it because you wanted to belong. You wanted to be loved. But the love that is given to a mask is not real love. It is not given to you. It is given to the mask. If you take off the mask and they stop loving you, good. Let them go. They never loved you anyway. They loved the illusion. Make space for the people who can love the naked face. They are rare, but they exist, and one such person is worth 1,000 crowds. We are building a community of naked faces here, a community of people who are dropping the masks. It is a risky business. It is a dangerous affair, but it is the only game worth playing. If you are ready to play this game, engage with us. Leave a comment below sharing one fear you are ready to drop today. Writing it down is an act of magic. It takes it out of the dark mind and puts it into the light of the screen. Share it. Let us witness it together. And as you share, you will see others sharing, and you will realize, I am not alone. Everyone is carrying a burden. This realization brings compassion, and compassion heals fear. Let us move now to the concept of the void. Ultimately, fear is the fear of nothingness. The ego knows it is a fake entity. It knows it is a bubble, and it is terrified that the bubble will burst. Spiritual seeking is the art of bursting the bubble consciously. You call it breakdown. I call it breakthrough. When everything falls apart, celebrate. The old structure was rotten anyway. Now you have a chance to build something new, or better yet, to remain in the open space without a structure. To live without a structure, that is the ultimate freedom. Like a bird in the sky, the bird leaves no track. It has no home in the sky. It is just flying. Can you trust life enough to just fly without a map, without a destination, just for the sheer joy of the wings moving? This is the state of the mystic. He does not know where he is going, and he is not worried. He knows that wherever he goes, God is there, existence is there. If you can trust this moment, you trust all moments, because the future is just this moment arriving later. So the practice is simple. Trust this breath. Not the next one, this one. Is there any problem right now in this breath? No. The air goes in, the air goes out. It is peaceful. Stay there. Whenever fear knocks, go back to the breath. The breath is your anchor to the present. The mind cannot breathe. Have you noticed? You cannot think about breathing and breathe at the same time. If you think about it, you stop witnessing. If you witness it, the thinking stops. Use the breath as a sword to cut the thoughts. And as you cut the thoughts, the heavy clouds of fear begin to disperse. You start to see the blue sky. That sky has been there for millions of years, waiting for you to look up. It is your sky. It is not Osho's sky. It is not Buddha's sky. It is your sky. Claim it. This claiming is not an act of aggression. It is an act of relaxation. You simply stop fighting the fact that you are infinite. You stop pretending to be small. You are playing a game of smallness. You have squeezed yourself into a tiny body, a tiny name, a tiny job. Expand. Close your eyes and feel your consciousness expanding. It goes beyond the room. It goes beyond the house. It goes beyond the city. It covers the whole earth. It embraces the moon, the sun, the stars. You are that vast. In that vastness, where is the fear? A tiny speck of dust? Who cares about a speck of dust? When you return to your small body after this expansion, you will bring some of that stardust with you. Your eyes will have a different shine. Your step will have a different bounce. People will look at you and wonder, what has happened to him? He looks dangerous. He looks free. Be that danger. Be that freedom. To be free means to be responsible, and this is why so many of you hesitate at the door of freedom. You want freedom, but you do not want responsibility. You want someone else to tell you what to do, what to believe, how to live. You want a father figure, a god, a priest, a politician, but as long as you have a father figure, you remain a child, and a child is always afraid of the dark. I want you to grow up. Maturity is the moment you look at the sky and say, I am alone. I am responsible for my own misery, and I am responsible for my own bliss. No one is doing it to me. This realization is sharp. It hurts the ego. The ego loves to play the victim. My wife makes me miserable. My boss makes me stressed. The economy is destroying me. As long as you point the finger out there, you are powerless. You are a puppet and the world is pulling your strings. Cut the strings. When you say, I am responsible, you take the power back. If you are creating your misery, it follows logically that you can stop creating it. You are the master of your own hell. Therefore, you can be the master of your own heaven. It is the same energy. You just have to change the direction. Fear is energy flowing outward, leaking into the future. Bliss is energy flowing inward, centering in the now. Let us speak of seriousness. Seriousness is the disease of the fearful mind. Look at your saints, your religious leaders. They look so serious. They look as if they are constantly constipated. They do not laugh. They think laughter is a sin. They think God is a very serious business. I say to you, God is not serious. Look at existence. Look at the platypus. Look at the giraffe. Look at the absurdity of a monkey. And then look in the mirror. Existence has a sense of humor. Life is hilarious. It is a cosmic joke. If you cannot laugh, you cannot pray. Laughter is the highest prayer. When you laugh totally, the ego disappears. Have you noticed? You cannot laugh and think at the same time. The moment laughter erupts, a belly laugh, a roar, the mind stops. Time stops. For a split second, you are a Buddha. My work is to make you laugh your way to enlightenment. But you are so heavy. You carry your past like a bag of stones. In 1995, he insulted me. In 2005, I failed at business. You are a collector of antiques, and not beautiful antiques, garbage. Drop the bag. The past does not exist. It is a memory trace in your brain cells. It has no reality in this moment. You are carrying a ghost. And because you are carrying the ghost of the past, you cannot face the future. You are tired. Fear feeds on the past. It happened before, so it will happen again. This is the logic of fear. But life never repeats itself. History repeats itself because fools repeat themselves. But life is always new. The sun that rose this morning is not the same sun as yesterday. The water you drink is not the same water. Your cells are not the same cells. Be new. Every morning when you wake up, before you put on your old personality, take a moment, remind yourself, I am newborn. Today is a fresh canvas. I will not paint the old picture. This requires alertness. The mind is a machine. It wants to run on autopilot. It wants to react the same way to the husband, the same way to the traffic, the same way to the news. You have to be the operator of the machine, not the cog. When the traffic is stuck and the anger rises, catch it, laugh at it. Look at me getting angry at cars. How ridiculous, the cars don't care. Turn on music, dance in your seat. The traffic is still stuck, but you are not stuck. This is the art of transformation. You change the inner climate, regardless of the outer weather. And as you learn to change your inner climate, you become a magnet. People are drawn to you. They don't know why. They just feel good around you. They feel a breeze of coolness in your presence. This is true leadership, not commanding people, but inspiring people by your very being. If you are feeling this breeze, if you are beginning to understand that you have the power to change your inner weather, do not keep it to yourself. Share this video. Be a lighthouse. When you share, you declare to the universe that you are on the side of consciousness. And if you wish to deepen your commitment to this path, the join button is open. It is a step into a circle of friends who are also waking up. Now, let us address the fear of the unknown. Mind you, you are not afraid of the unknown. You cannot be afraid of what you do not know. How can you fear something you have no concept of? You are actually afraid of losing the known. You are clinging to the known because it is familiar. Even if the known is painful, at least it is familiar. You know how to handle your misery. You have become an expert in it. The unknown threatens to take away your expertise, but the known is dead. It is already finished. The unknown is the living, pulsating heart of God. When you step into the unknown, you feel a tremor. That tremor is not fear, it is excitement. It is the thrill of adventure, but you interpret it as fear and you pull back. Interpret it as thrill. When you stand at the edge of a new job, a new relationship, a new country, and the heart beats fast, say yes, say life is happening. Do not shrink, expand. This is what I call living on the razor's edge. It is dangerous, yes. You might get cut. But it is better to bleed and be real than to be safe and be plastic. Wounds heal, but the safety of a coffin is permanent. Do not die before you die. Most people die at 25 and are buried at 75. For 50 years, they are just walking corpses. They do not live. They just exist. They follow the routine. They are sleepwalkers. I want to shake you awake. Wake up. The birds are singing for you. The wind is blowing for you. The whole existence is celebrating. Why are you standing in the corner crying? Join the dance. But to join the dance, you must drop the ego. The ego is stiff. The ego cannot dance. It is too worried about how it looks. Am I doing the steps right? Is everyone watching me? Dance as if no one is watching. Love as if you have never been hurt. Sing as if no one can hear. This is not just poetry. This is a prescription for mental health. The mind is serious. The soul is playful. Move from the mind to the soul, and the bridge is meditation. There are many techniques of meditation, but the essence is always the same: detached observation. Start with your body. When you are walking, know that you are walking. I am lifting the left foot. I am placing the left foot. Be conscious of the movement. Usually you walk unconsciously, then move to the breath. Be conscious of the incoming breath, the outgoing breath, then move to the thoughts. Be conscious of the anger, the greed, the lust. And finally, be conscious of the consciousness itself, the witness witnessing the witness. This is the ultimate peak. This is where the time collapses. This is where fear is found to be a myth. In this state, you are the emperor. The world may take everything from you, your money, your clothes, your reputation, but it cannot take your witnessing. Alexander the Great met a mystic in India, a naked fakir named Dandamis. Alexander was conquering the world. He looked at this naked man sitting by the river, laughing. Alexander said, "Come with me to Greece. I will give you everything: gold, palaces, women." Dandamis laughed and said, "I have everything here. Look at the sky. Look at the river. What can you give me?" Alexander was insulted. He pulled out his sword and said, "I can cut you into pieces." Dandamis laughed even harder. He said, "You can cut the body into pieces, but you cannot cut me. I will watch the head fall. Just as you watch it fall, we will both be watchers." Alexander had to sheath his sword. He realized he could not kill a man who had already transcended death. He bowed down. He said, "I have conquered the world, but you have conquered yourself. You are the greater conqueror. Be a Dandamis. Be unconquerable, not by fighting, but by realizing that you are not the target. The target is the body, the ego. You are the space in which they exist. Space cannot be cut. Space cannot be burned. Space cannot be afraid. You are that space. Why have you forgotten? Because you are too focused on the furniture in the room, and you have forgotten the room itself. The thoughts are the furniture. The emotions are the decorations. You are the room. Empty the room. This is what Zen calls no mind, mushin. When the furniture is thrown out, the room is revealed in its pristine beauty. And do not worry, throwing out the furniture does not mean you become stupid. It means you become clear. You can bring the furniture back when you need it. You can use thought when you need to solve a math problem or drive a car. But when you are finished, you put the thought away. You don't carry the math problem to your bed. Currently, you cannot stop thinking. The mind is using you. You are the slave. The master uses the mind. Now I will think. Now I will not think. This control is the byproduct of meditation. And when you can choose not to think, fear cannot enter. Because remember, fear requires thought. Fear requires the what if. If you can switch off the what if, you are safe. Not physically safe. Physically you are never safe, but existentially safe. You are at home. I am inviting you to come home. You have been wandering in foreign lands for too long. You are exhausted. Your shoes are worn out. Your heart is heavy. Come home. The door is open. In fact, there is no door. The walls are imaginary. You are standing in the open air, imagining you are in a prison. Open your eyes. See the rope. It is not a snake. See the shadow. It is not a monster. See the thought. It is not you. This simple seeing is the revolution. I am not here to give you a dogma. I am not here to give you a creed. I am here to give you a vision of yourself as a luminous, eternal being, playing a temporary game in a human body. Enjoy the game. Play it with passion, but do not get lost in it. When the game gets too intense, when the fear gets too high, take a time out. Retreat into your inner cave, reconnect with the silence, then come back to the game. This rhythm, out and in, action and inaction, speech and silence, is the rhythm of a healthy life. If you are just out, you become a frantic maniac. If you are just in, you become a dull escapist. Be both. Be the lotus. And as you practice this, be patient with yourself. You have been conditioned for lifetimes. It will not disappear in a snap of the fingers. It takes time to undo the knots. Do not get angry when you fail. You will fail. You will fall back into fear. You will fall back into anger. When you fall, don't waste time judging yourself. Get up, dust yourself off, laugh. I fell again. How human of me, and walk on. The path is not a straight line. It is a zigzag, it is a spiral, but as long as you are moving toward awareness, you are winning, and you do not have to walk alone. There is an energy field created by thousands of seekers who are listening to these words, just like you. Tune into that field. Feel the support. Use the tools we offer. The e-books are condensed consciousness. They are seeds. Plant them in your mind. The super thanks is not just a button. It is an affirmation of value. It tells the universe, I value wisdom, and what you value grows. We are nearing the end of this transmission, but not the end of the journey. The journey has no end. It is eternal. You will go on discovering deeper and deeper layers of bliss. Fear is just the beginning. It is the challenge you must pass to enter the temple. The lions at the gate of the temple are not there to eat you. They are there to test you. If you tremble, you cannot enter. If you look them in the eye and walk past, they turn into stone. Walk past the lions. Inside the temple there is music, there is light, there is love. It is waiting for you. It has always been waiting for you. You are the one you have been waiting for. But do not think that the journey ends with a single realization. The mind is cunning, and it has 9 lives like a cat. You throw it out the door, and it comes back through the window. You think you have understood fear, but understanding is just the first layer. Now comes the embodiment, and the mind will try to sabotage this embodiment. One of the greatest fears you will face after the initial awakening is the fear of boredom. You are addicted to drama. Have you noticed? If your life is going smoothly, if there is no conflict, no crisis, you start to feel uneasy. You say, something is wrong. It is too quiet. You miss the adrenaline of the problem. You miss the snake. This is because your ego feeds on friction. The ego needs resistance to feel itself. If you push against a wall, you feel your muscles. If you push against the empty air, you feel nothing. The ego wants to be a wall pusher. When you drop fear, you enter a state of flow. There is no wall, and initially this feels like boredom. You will say, Osho, I am feeling empty. I don't know what to do with myself. This boredom is actually a very high spiritual state. It is just that you are misinterpreting it. You are interpreting the lack of noise as a lack of life, but it is not a lack. It is a space. In the East, we have a word, shunyata, emptiness. But it does not mean negative emptiness. It means a pregnant void. It is the emptiness of a cup that is ready to be filled. If the cup is full of mud, your worries, your fears, it cannot receive the nectar. You have to endure the cleaning of the cup. So when boredom comes, do not run to the television. Do not run to the refrigerator. Do not pick up the phone. Sit with the boredom. Watch it. Dive into it. If you go deep into boredom, you will see that it changes its quality. It becomes peace. It becomes tranquility. Boredom is just peace that you have rejected. Boredom is peace that you are resisting because your ego wants entertainment. You want to be entertained because you are afraid to be with yourself. If you are left alone in a room for 24 hours without a book, without a phone, without a TV, you will go crazy. Why? You are such a wonderful person. Why can't you enjoy your own company? Because you don't know who you are. You only know the mask, and the mask is boring. The real face is never boring. The real face is a mystery. I want you to fall in love with boredom. I want you to become a connoisseur of silence. When you stop fearing boredom, you stop chasing unnecessary desires, you stop buying things you don't need, you stop dating people you don't like, you stop working for goals that are not yours, you become simple, and simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Now let us look at another subtle fear, the fear of success. Psychologists call this the Jonah complex. You are afraid of your own greatness. You are afraid of your own light. You ask, why would I be afraid of success? I want to be successful. On the surface, yes. But deep down, success is dangerous. If you are successful, if you shine, you become a target. People will become jealous. People will expect more from you. You will have responsibilities. It is safer to be small. It is safer to be a failure. If you are a failure, people sympathize with you. Oh, poor fellow. You get pity, and the ego loves pity. Pity is a substitute for love. It is a very cheap substitute, but for a beggar it is better than nothing. If you succeed, you lose the pity. You stand alone. The peak of the mountain is a lonely place. There is not much room up there. Also, if you realize your potential, you lose your excuses. As long as you are failing, you can say, I didn't have the right education, or my parents didn't love me, or luck was against me. You have a shield of excuses. If you step into your power, the shield drops. You are naked. If you make a mistake now, it is your mistake. This responsibility terrifies you, so you self-sabotage. Just when things are going well, you destroy it. You get late for the interview. You pick a fight with your lover. You lose the money. And then you sigh and say, see, fate is against me. Fate is not against you. You are against you. You have to decide, do you want pity or do you want glory? You cannot have both. If you choose glory, you must be willing to be envied. You must be willing to be misunderstood. You must be willing to outshine your family, your friends, your past. It hurts to outgrow people. This is a very deep fear, the fear of leaving your tribe behind. If you grow wings and your friends are still crawling on the ground, you can no longer crawl with them. You have to fly. And they will look up and hate you for flying. They will say, who do you think you are? You must have the courage to say, I am myself. Do not shrink to make others feel comfortable. That is not compassion, that is stupidity. If you shrink, you do not help them, you just join them in the mud. If you fly, at least you show them that flying is possible. Maybe one day, seeing you, they will grow wings too. Be a standard, be an inspiration, but do not be a martyr. If this message of claiming your own greatness is stirring something in your belly, if you feel the wings twitching on your back, hit the like button. Let it be a signal to the universe that you are ready to fly. And if you want to fly in a flock of eagles, not a flock of ducks, subscribe to this channel. Let us move to the fear of madness. This is a very significant fear for the seeker. As you meditate, as you move away from the rigid structures of the mind, you will feel a loosening. The logic will start to slip. The boundaries will start to blur. The mind will scream, stop, you're going crazy. Society has defined sanity as being well adjusted to a sick society. If everyone is insane, then the sane person looks crazy. Jesus looked crazy to the rabbis. Socrates looked crazy to the Athenians. Mansoor looked crazy to the Muslims. Why? Because they were not following the collective neurosis. They were dancing to their own tune. When you enter deep meditation, you enter a chaotic space. Chaos is not bad. Chaos is the womb of a star. Before a star is born, there is chaos. Clouds of gas, gravity pulling, explosions. You have to pass through the chaos to reach the cosmos. Do not be afraid of losing your mind. The mind is a very small thing. Lose it. Beyond the mind is the no mind, Mushin. That is where the divine resides. But the transition period is scary. You feel groundless. You feel like you are falling into an abyss. I say, enjoy the fall. There is no bottom. You will not hit the ground. You will just keep falling and falling until falling becomes flying. The difference between falling and flying is only attitude. If you resist, it is falling. If you accept, it is flying. Trust the process. Millions of seekers have walked this path before you. They have all felt this fear. It is a rite of passage. You are not going crazy, you are going sane. But sanity is so rare that it feels foreign. If you need a map for this territory, our ebooks are the journals of those who have fallen and learned to fly. They can be your parachute. And if you feel the urge to support the airport from which we launch these flights, the super thanks button is your ticket. Now I want to speak about the fear of intimacy. We touched on this, but we must go deeper. You crave intimacy, yet you build walls. Why? Because intimacy means into me see. You are allowing another to see into you, and you are ashamed of what is inside. You think, if they really see me, they will run away. I am ugly. I am full of lust. I am full of anger. So you present a facade. You present a polished persona, and the other person falls in love with the persona, not with you. This creates a deep anxiety. You know that you are deceiving them. You are always afraid of being found out. One day the mask will slip and they will see the beast. The only way to cure this fear is to drop the mask before they love you. Be real from the beginning. This is me. I have a bad temper. I am sometimes jealous. I am imperfect. Take it or leave it. If you have this courage, you will attract the right people. You will attract people who love the truth. And when someone loves you in your nakedness, that love transforms you. It heals the shame. Shame is the root of the fear of intimacy. You were told as a child that certain parts of you were bad. Your sex was bad. Your anger was bad. So you hid them in the basement. Bring them up to the living room. A spiritual person is not a person without anger or sex. A spiritual person is a person who accepts his anger and his sex and transforms them through awareness. Do not be a saint, be a whole human being. A saint is often just a hollow shell, a whitewashed grave. A whole human being is rich, earthy, alive. Be soil, not plastic. And when you are soil, things can grow in you. Love can grow, prayer can grow. This brings us to the fear of God. Religions have taught you to be God-fearing. What a terrible phrase. If you fear God, how can you love God? You cannot love the one you fear. Fear creates hatred. This is why deep down you hate God. You are angry at Him. Why did you make me suffer? Why will you punish me? The God of the religions is a monster. He is a dictator in the sky, watching your every move, writing down your sins in a big book, preparing to throw you into hell. Forget this God. This God is a fiction created by priests to control you. The real God is not a person. The real God is existence. It is the life force that beats in your heart. It is the intelligence that grows the trees. Does the tree fear the sun? Does the fish fear the ocean? No, they are one with it. You should be God-loving, not God-fearing, or better yet, God-living. Live as a God. Live. The Upanishads say, Tat Tvam Asi, thou art that, you are God. If you are God, who is there to fear? But you have to claim your divinity, and you are afraid to claim it because it sounds arrogant. How can I, a small sinner, be God? That is the humility of the ego. The ego loves to be the worst sinner. It is a negative ego trip. I am so bad, I am the worst. Drop this drama. You are neither a sinner nor a saint. You are a drop of the divine ocean. Recognize this dignity. Walk like a god. Talk like a god. Not with arrogance, but with grace, with compassion. If you start treating yourself as divine, you will stop doing stupid things. You will not put poison in your body. You will not speak ugly words. You will not hurt others. Why? Not because of a commandment, but because it is beneath your dignity. A god does not act like a beast. Awareness brings nobility. Now, let me give you a technique for the moments when fear grips you physically. A technique for the panic attack. The panic comes because your energy is moving up into the head. You are thinking too much, spinning. You have lost your ground. You need to bring the energy down. Stand up, take off your shoes, feel the ground with your bare feet. Now jump up and down. Let your heels hit the ground hard. Make a sound. Hoo, hoo, hoo. This sound who hits the sex center, the root center. It pulls the energy down from the head to the root. Do this for 10 minutes. Jump, shake, shout. You will sweat. The energy will flow down. The head will become empty. The panic will vanish. You are basically shaking the fear out of your system. Animals do this. If a gazelle escapes a lion, it goes into the bushes and shakes for 10 minutes. It discharges the adrenaline. Then it goes back to grazing as if nothing happened. You do not shake. You are too civilized. You hold it in. You sit in your office chair and freeze. And that frozen energy becomes a knot in your stomach, a knot in your chest. Shake it off. Dynamic meditation is what I have designed for the modern man. Because the modern man is so repressed, silent sitting is difficult. First, you must have a catharsis. You must throw out the garbage, scream, cry, laugh, jump, go crazy consciously. After the storm, the silence comes easily. If you try to sit in silence while a volcano is boiling inside you, you will just explode. Erupt first, then the lava cools down and becomes rock. Do not be afraid of your own wildness. Your wildness is your vitality. Many of you come to me and say, Osho, I am tired all the time. You are tired because you are using all your energy to suppress your wildness. It takes a lot of energy to hold the lid on the boiling pot. If you take the lid off, the energy is released. You become available to life again. Release the energy, and when you release it, fear is released with it. Fear is just trapped energy. Flowing energy is courage. Look at the river. When it is dammed, it becomes stagnant. When the dam breaks, it roars. It has power. Be a roaring river. I know society wants you to be a canal. I have said this, but I say it again because the conditioning is so deep. You have to remind yourself every day, I am wild, I am natural. Go into nature. Nature is the best teacher of fearlessness. Sit by a tree. Does the tree look worried? Ask the tree, are you worried about the economy? The tree will laugh. The tree is just enjoying the sun and the wind. Tune into the tree, hug the tree. Just as you hug a friend, hug a tree. You will feel a sap, a slowness, a calmness entering you. The tree is transmitting its fearlessness to you. We have lost contact with nature. That is why we are so neurotic. We live in concrete boxes. We walk on asphalt. We breathe conditioned air. We have become artificial. Go back to the real. Take off your shoes. Walk on the grass. Look at the stars. The stars are your therapy. When you look at the infinite stars, your small problems look small. So what if I lost my job? The galaxy is moving perfectly. Perspective is the cure for fear. The ego makes you the center of the universe. My toothache is the most important thing in history. Zoom out. Look at the earth from the moon. It is a tiny blue marble. All your wars, all your borders, all your stock markets, they are invisible. This cosmic perspective brings a deep relaxation. I am nothing, and in being nothing, I am everything. If you can hold this paradox, nothingness and oneness, you are enlightened. Enlightenment is not something magical. It is just being perfectly normal, perfectly at ease. The fearful man is diseased. The enlightened man is at ease. Be at ease with yourself. Stop trying to improve yourself. The whole idea of self-improvement is based on fear. The fear that you are not good enough. You are good enough. You were created by this universe. The universe does not make mistakes. If the universe wanted you to be different, it would have made you different. Accept yourself as you are, with your fear, with your anger, with your jealousy. In that total acceptance, transformation happens. It is like a paradox. If you accept your ugliness, you become beautiful. If you try to be beautiful, you become ugly with effort. Relax. Relax is the only mantra you need. And as we move toward the final section of this series, I want to talk about love as the ultimate destroyer of fear. We have touched on it, but we need to understand the alchemy of love. How love changes the chemistry of the brain. How love changes the vibration of your aura. Love is not just an emotion, it is a biological force. And when you are in love, you are fearless. A mother will fight a lion to save her child. Where does that courage come from? It comes from love. You need to fall in love with existence. When I say fall in love with existence, I do not mean the romantic love you see in movies. That is a biological trick. That is just hormones playing a violin. It is beautiful, but it is temporary. It starts with a fever and ends with a headache. I am talking about love as a state of being. Not loving someone specifically, but just being love. Imagine a flower in a forest. Nobody passes by. No lover comes to smell it. Does the flower say, I will not release my fragrance today because nobody's here to appreciate me? No. The flower releases its fragrance simply because it is a flower. It is its nature to share. Whether a king passes by, or a beggar passes by, or a stray dog, or nobody at all, the flower shares equally. Be like the flower. When your love becomes unaddressed, when it is just a radiation of your own joy, then fear becomes impossible. Fear survives on calculating. If I give this much, what will I get back? If I love him, will he hurt me? This calculation is the death of love. Real love is a gift with no return address. You throw it into the wind, and the miracle is, the more you throw away, the more you have. This is the mathematics of the spiritual world, totally opposite to the mathematics of the marketplace. In the marketplace, if you give money, you have less. In the spiritual world, if you give love, you have 1,000 times more. It wells up from your center. So, if you are afraid of running out of love or being used by people, you are not loving, you are bargaining. Drop the bargain. Be a spendthrift with your love. And remember, love and death are very similar. In both, the ego disappears. In deep love, you are not there. Only love is. In death, you are not there. Only the soul is. That is why people who are afraid of death are also afraid of love. They hold back. They want to keep a little bit of I in reserve. But love demands totality. If you can die into love, surrender your ego, your defenses, your strategies, you will find that you have conquered death itself. You will see that the thing you were protecting, the ego, was just a shell, and inside the shell is the pearl of eternal life. Now, let us bring this entire journey into a single point of focus. We have traveled from the origins of your conditioned fear through the masks of society into the silence of witnessing and finally into the explosion of love. You have the map, but a map is not the territory. You have to walk. How to walk? Walk with a yes on your lips. The fearful mind always says no. It says no to the new, no to the stranger, no to the risk. The courageous heart says yes. Say yes to life. Even when life brings a storm, say yes. Okay, a storm, let me see what this storm has to teach me. Even when life brings pain, say yes. Okay, pain, you are also a guest, cleanse me. This total acceptance is what I call tatata, suchness, agreeing with whatever is. When you stop fighting with reality, your energy is no longer wasted in conflict. It becomes a column of light, and in that light, you see the ultimate truth. You were never afraid. It was all a dream, a long, complicated, frightening dream, but a dream nonetheless. The one who was afraid was the character in the dream, not the dreamer. You are the dreamer. Wake up. Stretch your limbs, look around. The prison door is open. In fact, it was never locked. You were just holding the bars so tight that you thought you were trapped. Let go of the bars, walk out. The world is waiting for you, not the world of politics and wars. That is the asylum. I mean the real world, the world of the sun, the wind, the stars, the silence, the world of consciousness. You are needed. The earth is in a crisis. It is being destroyed by fearful people. People who are greedy because they are afraid of emptiness. People who are violent because they are afraid of weakness. The earth needs people who are fearless. People who are so full of love that they do not need to exploit anyone. Be the salt of the earth. And do not worry about saving the world. That is another ego trip. Just save yourself. Just wake yourself up. A single awakened human being triggers a wave of consciousness that travels for thousands of miles. Just by being happy, you help the world. Just by being fearless, you give courage to others. Your joy is your service. Your dance is your revolution. I invite you to make a commitment today, not to me, but to yourself. A commitment to drop the heavy baggage of fear. You have carried it long enough. It has bent your back. It has dimmed your eyes. Put it down right now. Visualize yourself taking a heavy backpack off your shoulders and setting it on the ground. Feel the lightness. Stand tall. Take a deep breath. You are free. And as you walk into this new freedom, keep this connection alive. This channel, these videos, these words, they are just reminders, like an alarm clock. You set the alarm to wake up. We are your alarm clock. If you are grateful for the wake-up call, if you feel the dead of the heart, you can balance the energy by using the super thanks. It is a beautiful gesture of flow, and to ensure you don't fall back to sleep, because the lullaby of society is very strong, stay close to the Sangha by hitting join. We will keep shaking you. We will not let you sleep. For those who want the essence of these teachings in their pocket, our e-books are available. They are silent companions for your journey. But above all, remember this: life is not a problem to be solved. It is a mystery to be lived. Do not try to solve your fear. Live through it. Go beyond it and dance into the mystery. The music has started, the drums are beating, the flute is calling. Do not stand on the sidelines, jump. The river is flowing to the ocean. Do not hold on to the bank, let go. And in that letting go, you will find that you are not the drop, you are the ocean, are the